Good morning, everyone. Today I am going to explain about personal assistant with recognition project. The table of contents are introduction. What is speech recognition actually? How speech recognition works? Installing libraries which are needed for the speech recognition software to run. Also, activating personal assistant. Personal assistant is an assistant or it's a service provided by any system so that you can search any applications or any services you need over the internet through your voice. Adding speech for assistance, adding date, time, and Wikipedia access to AI assistant. So obviously these are the basic things that are needed for an assistant, like date and time. Wikipedia accesses all the information that are needed for the for a particular person is always available on Wikipedia. Dynamic time wrapping DWT. I'll explain it in the further slides. And finally conclusion. Introduction. Okay, in this tutorial we will do a project in which we will create an Alexa like personal AI assistant. So we have almost everyone have used Alexa, or most of you guys have used Alexa. Also, like unlike Alexa, we have Google, where in Google also we have personal assistant, so that we can understand voice command using speech recognition in Python. So Python is a recently found language. It's a hot kick in the recent time, and it is the widely used language at this particular time. More than Java, people are using Python because of it, as it provides a lot of libraries which are useful for us. So as difficult it may sound, but creating an AI personal assistant is quite easy with the help of Python. But if we had to create it using Java, it would be a hectic job, since in Java we don't have already predefined libraries which we can import. So in Java, while using Java, we have to create each and every class and object and each and every feature that we need from scratch. But in Python, we already have pre-installed libraries which will help us a lot. So let us start the project. What is speech recognition? A simple insight about what is speech recognition. Since we are doing a project on artificial intelligence, let us get down to this topic. Speech recognition is the ability given to machines and computers to interpret the voice of humans and then take appropriate action. Speak recognition is not something which is of a rocket science thing. It's very simple. Like it gives the ability to a machine, to a particular machine or computer, to assess a human voice or to understand a human voice and produce the output. Okay, process and produce the output according to the requirement. Speech recognition is commonly used for speech to text conversion, but is now more popular with voice assistants like Alexa. So speech recognition is basically, the main thing is speech to text. Like if we say something, if we open a Google Assistant or speech assistants of any kind, and let us say what is speech assistant, we'll ask the question. So there in the tab, in the search tab, what is speech recognition or assistant, that a particular sentence will be typed. So that is the main motive of a speech recognition system. So it main thing is to do speech to text conversion. Then also it also includes its own algorithms where it can think as a human in a humanly way and do stuff for the computer. This process of recognition is done by breaking down audio into individual sounds. Individual sounds is, in English grammar we have a lots of vowels and so many other stuff. So like if we are taking individual, okay, let us consider a word individual. So how the machine breaks it up is like in. So it individually breaks up the vowels and it will divide the word into three to four parts, so that it will be easy for the system to understand. So the results it gives will be more accurate. Then converting them into digital format. That is what the machines do, where we will be using machine learning algorithms, add models to find word for that sound. So what it will do, it will go over the network and search the whole of the database to that particular word which we were trying to speak. So it will capture our voice, it recognizes our voice, it recognizes the particular word what we are searching, and then produces a result to the user. How speech recognition? It is a continued version. When people speak any word, line, or para in their language, in their particular language, those sounds make vibrations in the air. All of these vowels uttered by us have different frequencies pattern. So obviously everybody has different frequency while speaking. Some may have a higher voice, some may have a lower voice. It basically the medium is air. Okay, the medium of communication, the medium of transportation of our voice is air. So the vibrations created in the air is what makes the voice heard by another device. So each frequencies varies. Since the sound is analog in nature, it is not digital format, it is analog format. It only uses sine waves, not the digital format one. So and then with the help of analog to digital converter, we change the sound waves into digital format, which is understood by the computer. Now we can train state of art deep learning models to make them understand different frequency patterns of those vowels. Okay, deep learning models. Let me tell you a small insight about a deep learning model. Deep learning model is not much of a rocket science. Deep learning is something where we take a particular set of a sample sets, and we analyze that data to the core, so we'll get to understand everything about that particular data. So state of art means it's the top of the class deep learning models. Deep learning models comes in, it may be a basic thing or advanced version of a model, so it doesn't even matter. But we are using state of art deep learning models to create a fabulous speech recognition model. So such is the impressive advancement in this area in recent times that speech recognition accuracy has now reached 95%. And that's a really good milestone to be remembered. Like we are so much ahead. Like the accuracy level has reached 95%. Basically, when we were using Google in 2014, the Google Assistant which was introduced in 2014, the accuracy level was so low. The Indian accent was not acceptable at all. If we had to speak in their accent, or the words we speak are pronounced the same way as the Westerners, then the possibility of the system understanding us would be high. But nowadays the accuracy has so much increased that from region to region, let us consider India, we have a different accent. Going to Australia, we have a different accent. Basically every each and every continent have different accents. So the Google is so much developed that it understands each and every accent that the world is currently using. So first thing, so we are creating libraries. Okay, let me get down to the project. So we are basically doing a project using Python which will do speech recognition. So it's basically speech to text format thing. So I have given the introduction about how speech recognition works, and what is speech recognition, how the deep learning thing work, all the models, how they work. I have explained that in the previous slides. But now let us get down to the project. Okay, how a speech recognition model is developed, how it is programmed using Python. Let us start building our AI personalized assistant. Let us give it a name, Max. Okay, Max is a given is a name like Siri is the name given by the Apple company to their personal assistant. So I'll give my project name as Max. Okay, the personal assistant that will be using is Max. So the first step is to import all the libraries that we require for the project. The following libraries are readily available by the Python language. So since the Python language is an open source software, it's an open source language, so it will be updating each and every single month, or in particular time period it will be getting updated. So we have a lot of pre-installed libraries. Let's get down to it. Speech recognition. So pip install speech recognition, that's the syntax that we are going to use. That's the thing where we get to install speech recognition. that is used to convert our human speech into text. So it is readily available. If we import this particular statement pip install speech recognition, the system automatically converts human speech into text. Next, py audio. Pip install py audio. Speech recognition library does not work alone. It uses py audio library. It is a readily available library. Py audio provides Python bindings for port audio, the cross-platform audio input-output library. Using Python audio, you can easily use Python to play and record audio on a variety of platforms. It may be, the platform may be anything, like we may be using any other apps, but the platform doesn't matter if we import py audio library. So second thing that we are installing is py audio library. Next, PIP install pyttsx3. It's a text-to-speech conversion library available in Python. Unlike other alternative libraries, it works offline. So only if we build a speech recognition system which is works only through online, which requires internet, that will not be so compact, it will not be so reliable. So we also have to import this particular library. So the project that we are developing will produce an system where it also works in an offline mode. So the fourth library we are installing is py.kit. It's a, the syntax is pip install py.kit. So pip install is some, let me get down to Python thing. So pip install is something we use to install some readily available library. We use pip install and that particular predefined name given, like pip.kit, pyttsx3, py audio, the readily available thing what is available in the library, we use that as the suffix to pip install as the prefix. So pip.kit library will give the power of the internet to our personal assistant. So these things makes our system to access internet. That is the very vital part of our project. So while we are using internet, so I want to search something about USA or Texas, something like that. I'll on my personal assistant. So what this library does, it goes over the internet, it goes through the network and goes over the internet and search the Wikipedia to search the particular thing what I am asking. So it produces the result more effectively. So Wikipedia, as you guys know, the Wikipedia is, it's a large pool of data. It is a database where all the articles, everything that exists on earth is available on Wikipedia. So we also install, Wikipedia is also a library in Python. So we install pip install Wikipedia. Wikipedia is a Python library that makes it easy to access and parse data from Wikipedia. Parsing is the method of extracting. So the data is already available in Wikipedia. What Python does is it's just extract the data from the Wikipedia. We want our AI assistant Max. So remember, the name Max is the our personal assistant, the name given to our personal assistant to be more knowledgeable and informative. So we use this approach for it. Next, speech recognition. So we start by importing speech recognition. We do not import by audio library, but speech recognition uses it for conversion purpose. Okay, the only purpose we import speech recognition is to import by audio library to for conversion only. The speech recognition module. So each the speech recognition is a module. Recognizer is a module. Recognize Google is a module. Microphone is a module. We use different modules and we assign certain role to each module. So each module performs certain roles. That is what a perfect code does. Okay, we use a lot of codes, we use a lot of modules. When we combine all the modules together, we produce a perfect running program. So the speech recognition module is used to create a recognizer object. Recognizer is an object which takes audio data as input captured by another microphone object. Microphone is also an object. This is then passed to recognize Google function. Recognize Google function is a function and speech recognition is also a function, but recognizer is an object as well as microphone is also an object. So we print this to verify if our setup is working properly as expected. Let me get down to the code. Import speech recognition as SR. So it's SR is a name given for the function speech recognition. So we are not using any type of semicolon as we are using Python. Listener is equal to SR dot recognizer. Listener is a temporary variable that we are using to assign SR dot recognizer function. We are using try and catch. In Java and the previous languages we used to use try and catch exception, but we are using try and accept. Ex- it's a totally new subject. We'll get to know about it in the further slides. With sr.microphone as data taker, as data taker is also an object where data taker is something what we give the input that will be stored in data taker. Print say something. So okay, if you are speaking something that will be stored in data taker, before we have, if we invoke sr recognizer function, the sr dot microphone will gets activated when we speak something. Okay, then if we are trying to speak something, the first thing that will happen is say something. We'll get a message say something. Okay, voice is a variable where listener dot listen data taker, whatever the data we speak will be stored in data taker and will be assigned to the voice. Instruct is equal to listener dot recognize Google voice. So Google is a function where it extracts all the required data from the Google or the Wikipedia. So voice is something what is a temporary variable that we have used to assign what we have spoken earlier. So all this thing will be also assigned to another temporary variable, that is instruct. So instruct is holding what we have spoke, and as well as the Google search what has gone through the Google search, it will be also stored in instruct. Instruct is equal to instruct dot lower. Lower is also a simple object that we are using. So print instruct. So instruct will have the data from the Google search. All the data that we have searched from Google search will be assigned to instruct. So instruct will contain every data that we need. So it will print the instruct. So basically when you say something, that thing will get typed in your tab. This is how it works, except if you don't speak anything, next it will pass. So activating personal assistant, we have named our personal assistant Max, as I have mentioned. So here we add a logic to recognize speech contains word Max, not by using a simple if condition. If speech matches Max, then we just print it. We will put more logic in the upcoming sessions. As I have told you earlier, we'll add more things to it. Import speech recognition, everything is same as say something. Okay, until print instruct. Okay, when we say something, that will get printed in the tab. Up until that, everything is have explained it earlier. If max in instruct, print instruct. Okay, if max is something, okay, max is a thing which have been extracted from the Google, and instruct is something which you have inputted. But when these two things match, what it will print instruct. So what you are saying, the grammatical thing and everything is perfect. So the next process will start. Except pass, adding speech for assistant. The next thing is speech, adding speech. So this is all everything same. Okay, after import pp pyttsx3 listener is equal to sr dot recognizer is our object. Engine is equal to init. Init is something when we import or we want to use its services, we use init brackets. Okay, so no semicolon as we are using Python. Engine dot say hey sir how are you. When you just press the personal assistant button, or if we invoke the personal assistant, first thing hey sir how are you, hey what do you want. It's just a formal thing that we are adding predefinedly. So the system asks hey sir how are you and hey what do you want. So we'll have another try and accept exceptions here with sr dot microphone as data taker. Microphone object is always goes with data taker as it only accepts the input given by the user. Print say something, the same thing happens here also. So adding date and time Wikipedia access to the AI assistant. So now what we are doing is basically everybody, we want to know the time or we want to search anything through the Google, we use speech recognition for that particular purpose. So now it's the important step where we add the date and time as well as the Wikipedia to our program. So import date and time, it is a pre-available, readily available library in Python. Import Wikipedia is also a readily available library available in Python. So listener is equal to all the things that I've said before is same up until we use, okay, play in instruct song. If we want to play a song, it will also be extracted through Wikipedia elf time. If you want time, it will print the exact time, it will synchronize the time of the system, and it will produce the time that you want. Elif, tell me about. Okay, tell me about is basically the thing about Wikipedia that you want to search, that is will be also available. So all these things, how it works, the dynamic time wrapping comes into scene. The simplest way to recognize an isolated word sample is to compare it against a number of stored word templates and determine which is the best match is. So the template is something which is a blueprint. Let us consider template as a blueprint. So if we are doing something, we'll have a blueprint about it. So we'll have a numerous templates of words. So what we speak is compared to those templates, okay, which is the best match. The goal is complicated by a number of factors, okay, it will be produced. So in this also we have certain number of constraints. First, different samples of a word will have somewhat different durations. So I may speak very very aggressively or very fast, and some other people may speak it very slow, like the duration of uttering a sentence may differ. So this problem can be eliminated by simply normalizing the templates and unknown speech so that they all have equal duration. However, another problem is that the rate of speech may not be constant throughout the word. In other words, the optimal alignment between a template and the speech sample may be non-linear. Dynamic time wrapping (DWT) is an efficient method for finding this optimal nonlinear alignment. Dynamic time wrapping is a well-known technique to find an optimal alignment. In fields such as data mining and information retrieval, DWT has been successfully applied to automatically cope with time deformations and different speeds associated with time independent data. In time series analysis, dynamic time wrapping is an algorithm for measuring similarity between two temporal sequences which may vary in time or speed. For instance, similarities in walking patterns would be detected using DWT, or even if one person was walking faster than the other can also detect by DTW. Problem of finding an average sequence for a set of sequences. If we have a big set of sequences, the average could be found using DTW. The average sequence is the sequence that minimizes the sum of squares to the set of objects. So finally we can come to a conclusion. This particular slide that I have presented represents a speech recognition in artificial intelligence system, how it has been done. So if I had done a PPT regarding how speech recognition works, that will be obviously available, readily available in YouTube, in other platforms also. But what I have done is how the thing actually works, how the coding behind that works. I've gone through the back end things of speech recognition, and I've tried my best to show you guys how speech recognition works in the backend. So the grammar used by the speaker and accepted by the system, noise level, noise type, position of microphone, and speed of manner of the user's speech are some factors that may affect the quality of speech recognition. Yeah, so speech recognition is a system which will have a lot of constraints, obviously a lot of constraints, because the language, the accent we speak, the speed we speak, the rate at which we pronounce the words will differ. So all that, some microphone may be good, some microphone may be bad. So keeping all that in mind, we should produce a system which will be very compact, very efficient in every manner possible. So I hope this helps you guys. Thank you.